first things first, so I've done a bit of cleaning on these. We've got the legs cut and the cross members cut for the bottom half of the table. So these parts here are foot plates. I might have to hit them with a grinder just to get them to slot in. Now the hole in the middle I've got to open up because I was unsure what kind of caster I wanted. Some of you might remember this from a past video, so there's some free plans to this if you're interested. Look back 2 or 3 vids and you'll find it. Right, so the way this works is these wheels come with a set of 4 bolts. And they're M14 to M12. So what I have to do with these plates now is weld these M12 nuts on the back. Now I'm not going to go nuts on these, no pun intended, but I'm just going to run a bit of a stitch either side of each one of these nuts. And the reason I'm going down this route is because I didn't put any cavities into the slats that go underneath the table, so these are going to be completely sealed off, so I need to get these welded on first. So that's the next job. And for that we've got special guest, my Paton 250 amp MIG welder over there. I've not done a lot with it, but so far so good. Right, let's have it. Well, I think that'll do for them. Right, so we've got that lot out of the way. I'll remove the bolts off camera, but otherwise that lot's done. So next job is to get these plates welded in. Right, bit of a deburr. Give it a bit of a tap. Right, I've got those out of the way. I'm not going to go overboard because the paint I've got's like treacle. So these are the casters I showed you earlier. Hang on. Now as I'm putting this thing together, each cross section should be clamped down, and maybe some sash clamps as well, but I'm working with what I've got. I don't have enough suitable clamps for this job, so but I have spent a bit of time in fab shops to be quietly confident I can get the desired result at the end. But what I would say is don't copy me, do your research for best results. So definitely not the best way of doing things. Now I've got the corners in. You can see they've dropped straight in and they're all nice and flush. So you can see the amount of slop I allowed for on these tabs. Right, I think I'll turn it down a bit for the rest. So I'm really impressed with that laser cutting, because I was expecting to have to file out the inside of these plates. So next job for me is loosely bolting these plates down. I'll just do them hand tight. So top plates are now bolted down and all squared up. Legs are just sat in there at the minute because I've got to put some tacks on. These cross members you see here are not staying there, they're going to be a lot higher up. I thought I'd use them as spacers, if you like. Plus it also gives me something to help get these legs square. All the welding's done. I've hit everything with a grinder, ready for paint. Didn't mean to come all the way to the corner there, because the plan is to put some big washers down before I bolt this up. Right, so next time you see this, it's going to be in paint, fitted, and we'll get a look at it. So throughout building this, I kept thinking something's not right, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And then I realised I'd cut the legs too short by 100mm. Nice little recovery there, but what a ball ache. So the top part of this table is actually the part I should have cleaned up and add on the underneath, because this is the side where you get all the dross. Plus I've actually come through a bit with a welding places. I'll get this top cleaned up a little bit. One other thing to note is where I had these little cutouts in the corners on the drawing. For some reason on the side pieces I hadn't put them in, so I've jumped into CAD this morning and rectified that. Right, there's the table, job done. Now, not the best way of testing flatness of a tabletop, but that's the closest thing I have to a straight edge. But I already know it's more than flat enough for my needs. You'll find a link to a folder with all the necessaries to build this table. But like I said, regarding putting it together, do your research and be a little bit more tooled up than I was. Also, there's a buy me a coffee link if you want to support the channel further, but don't feel obligated in any way. Everything I put on the channel is free.